Animation allows you to move humanoid bodies in ways that you just couldn't get away with in live action. Even when a live action character is entirely replaced by CGI, you're bound by the laws of physics. If you break those rules, you can be sure the audience will notice that something is off. But animation allows you to do whatever you want. Your characters can move quicker in more dynamic ways, you can give the audience visuals unlike anything they've ever seen before, so when it comes to all-time favourite lightsaber duels, it's no wonder so many of you cited the Clone Wars and Rebels cartoons. And it turns out, whether it be live action or animation, the only key ingredients you need are 1 teaspoon of Obi-Wan Kenobi with a pinch of Darth Maul. That's right, this is the greatest animated lightsaber duel ever. When we last discussed an excellent lightsaber duel, Darth Maul was sent tumbling to his certain doom at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the first Jedi in 1,000 years to defeat a Sith. But as we know, Maul didn't perish on Naboo that day, and remained an active thorn in Kenobi's side across the Clone Wars. He was hell-bent on destroying Kenobi, but it wasn't until the Season 3 episode of Rebels, Twin Suns, that we were told the pair would cross blades for a final time.
Look what has become of you. A rat in the desert.
Look what I have risen above.
Maul is seething, quick to belittle Kenobi and coerce him into anger.
If you define yourself by your power to take life, your desire to dominate, to possess, then you have nothing.
Obi-Wan, on the other hand, stays calm, collected. He makes no threats towards Maul, but merely points out that he has risen above. I think he's referring to Maul's tunnel vision aggression and ill-begot passion to win.
And what do you have?
Obi-Wan seems at peace in some sense, and then Maul has a moment of brilliance.
Why come to this place? Not simply to hide. Perhaps you are protecting something.
Slowly but surely he deduces the why in Kenobi's exile and comes to realise that someone of great importance is being hidden on Tatooine.
No. Protecting someone.
That's awesome. I love how Kenobi remains the gentle presence until just the tiniest hint that Luke could come to harm rises out of the dirt, and then it's game on. Maul signed his own death warrant. What's so great about this fight is that the build-up is the fight. This isn't about blades twirling for 10 minutes, although that kind of thing has its place too. This is more akin to a spaghetti western standoff. This duel harkens back to the very same classic cinema that inspired the original trilogy.
Yes, I bet you have.
Blades drawn, the tension here is squeezed out of every moment. As we see these masters of the saber psych each other out, we're left wondering who will come out on top and how. What's so magnificent about this fight is that all the clues are there before any lightsabers even clash. Kenobi initially takes a Sorisu or Form 3 battle stance, and Maul responds to this. But then Kenobi switches from his signature style during the Clone Wars to Ataru, or Form 4, more evocative of his fighting style in A New Hope, which is a neat little way to bridge the McGregor Kenobi with the Guinness Kenobi. It's also the same style that Qui-Gon used to try and defeat Maul all the way back in Episode 1.
Ironic.
Maul doesn't switch his stance. His strategy remains the same going into the fight. So it's clear there's only one way this is going to go. In literally 3 strikes, the entire fight is over. Decades of feuding is brought to a satisfying crescendo, and if you watch closely, Maul actually attempts to perform the exact same saber butt to Obi-Wan's head that he used on Qui-Gon Jinn. Kenobi, anticipating this, strikes right down the middle, cutting Maul down. That crucial piece of connective tissue to their very first fight makes this duel feel like the epilogue you never knew you needed. And whether or not you've seen a single episode of Clone Wars or its sequel show, this duel works on its own as its own closed loop. This scene just works in isolation. It could have been a fan film and you'd still get all the context you need. Hell, if you'd never seen Star Wars before and you didn't even know the complex history between these characters, you could still get something out of it emotionally. Clone Wars and Rebels have a lot of great duels, but for me this one has to be the perfect blend of tension, character work and visual flair. Not to mention it works as an immensely satisfying payoff for one of the best conflicts between two characters in the entire Star Wars mythos. But make no mistake, by saying this is the greatest brackets animated duel, I'm not saying that animated lightsaber fights should be put into their own box or that they can't be compared to live action, because they absolutely can. It's more the effect for the audience, the sense of visual wonder and excitement is distinctly different between them. They are two distinctly different expressions, and that's okay. Give me more live action duels, give me more animated duels, just keep giving me new shit, fresh shit, imaginative shit, just whatever you do, don't give me actual shit. Like a literal turd, what am I meant to do with that? That's disgusting, this point is getting away from me. Anyway, if you haven't seen this fight before, I implore you to check it out. And those of you who wanted us to cover a certain live action duel, don't worry, it's coming very soon. The Star Wars tracks in this video were very kindly provided by Samuel Kim Music. You can check out some of his awesome tracks over at his channel, the details of which are in the description below. Thank you for watching another Full Fat video. If you'd like to see more from Full Fat videos, why not follow us on Instagram and Twitter? Please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. We've got some cool exclusive content on there. Thank you to our $100 patrons, Dr. Chike and Jax Merrick. Chris and I really appreciate it. Until next time, stay milky.